VGK begins its 5-game road swing in Florida tonight against a desperate team trying to get back into the playoff picture. Let's say they're trying to claw their way back into the playoff picture.
Already, here we go.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Tony Cardasco, along with Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Welcome to Locked On Golden Knights. You can find us on Twitter at Locked On VGK, at Tony Dasco, at TD Chris G. And of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's on fire.
Am I the grumpier one lately, Tony? Am I the grumpier one of us as of late?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Just checking.
But you come in like a lion and out like a lamb. It's March. So VGK meets the Panthers, South Florida tonight. They start this 5-game road trip. VGK beat the Panthers here earlier in the season, 4-2. Florida just 3 points out in the playoff race there, and they now are playing every game as though it's a must-win. They lost to the Predators 4-1, but they had this must-win game against the Penguins, and they pulled that one out. And yesterday, Chris, you were on Locked On Panthers with our guy, Mondo Velez. What was his impression of what's happening there with the Panthers in Florida first?
Tough spot. Everything you just echoed. Team is in desperate need of points right now. They're flirting with the playoffs. And a team that made some big moves in the offseason. Obviously, Huberdeau is gone. Matt Tkachuk is in. So that's certainly something of importance. And the team obviously needs to do well to justify a controversial move like that. I say controversial because Huberdeau had some choice words for the GM on the way out that started with an F and rhymed with a puck. So, go figure what he said there. The one thing Mondo said was that Florida is a better road team than they are a home team, which oddly enough, VGK has been, at least up until this last little run they've been on, has been a better road team also than we've been a home team. So VGK certainly is in form right now, if we're going to start with a horse racing reference, and, take care of business, right? First game of the road trip, new time zone. The team traveled early. They left after Sunday's matinee, which was certainly a good thing. So they're there, they're ready. The only concerning factor is, everyone comes to Vegas. It's exciting, right? This is their time to come hang and blow off some steam in the middle of the season. I feel like South Florida is Vegas's Vegas. It's the beach scene. They go, they chill for a little bit. So they got to get up for this game tonight. That's the important thing.
You and I would be at the rail at Gulfstream before the game, for sure.
Oh, God, I would love to go to Gulfstream. It's a beautiful place.
So Tkachuk, you mentioned 81 points. But then there's a drop-off, Carter Verhaeghe next with 55 points. So they get a lot of scoring out of Tkachuk. I found it interesting, I don't know if you did as well, that this Florida Panther team stood pat during the trade deadline period. They didn't make any moves, I don't believe.
Did they have an option? I mean, that's probably the bigger question.
I think that they were just happy with what they have, to be quite honest with you.
I guess. I mean,
right?
I guess I'm going to tell you right now exactly where they sit right now. Projected cap hit, only 1.8 in cap space available. So it would have taken some stretching and some creativity. Not that, no one does that in this league, but just trying to see only one player with two players on LTIR. So I mean, that's they're certainly not doing it right. They got to take a page out of the VGK's book.
Yeah, they're not cheating at all.
Really fast, I want to see. So VGK called up Pavel Dorofeev, right? Mm-hmm. I'm on the cap friendly site right now. Okay, so he's here on an emergency loan right now. Okay. This is so funny the way the NHL does this. I mean, listen, VGK is just playing the game that is given to them right now.
No doubt.
So in lieu of Will Carrier going down to IR, or even Nick Waugh, who's all of a sudden quietly missing a lot of time, they're just emergency loan. Here comes Pavel Dorofeev. So, we'll see what that bodes for Paul Cotter tonight. So I feel that Dorofeev coming up was the insurance plan because of Carrier going down. And now, obviously, Paul Cotter took that hit, didn't return on Sunday. So we'll see if Dorofeev even possibly draws into the lineup tonight.
I thought it was kind of funny because I did tweet out about, maybe there's an injury, and people are like, no, Cotter's okay. Well, I didn't remember him coming back into the game the other day.
I don't remember either. And he could have not come back for two reasons. One, because of that. Two, he was playing well. So he wouldn't have gotten benched. He was a big part of the VGK. I don't know if it was the game winning goal or which goal it was, but he was certainly a big part. And he literally was the only VGK inside of the offensive blue line, just buying time, holding the puck till reinforcements came. So certainly a good play, and just as an example of what Cotter can do.
So with the Florida Panthers, Sam Bennett and Sasha Barkov, I feel that Bennett scores every time he plays against VGK. He's one of those guys.
Yeah.
Barkov comes back after 11 games in which he missed with a broken hand, and Bennett had a lower body injury. He missed some time. And Anthony Duclair, they finally got back because he had that Achilles surgery in the offseason, and he's just been back now for 4 games. But watch out, because this is a team right now that is getting a little bit on the healthy side, and they're playing with desperation. They're currently in 11th place. They're 3 games out of a playoff spot. Las Vegas has owned this series, though, 6-2-1 all time. Wasn't it last season that VGK went to South Florida and then they beat Florida, right? And Tampa? Wasn't that last year?
They've done it before, definitely.
Carolina,
I feel like it might have been after the All-Star break last year, right?
I'm not quite sure, but I just know, right? Carolina, they beat. They've had a great, very successful
right. No, I remember this. I do
there.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And then Florida and Tampa, that's the way that it went. This time it'll be Florida, Tampa, and then Carolina third. That Carolina game and the spot that it's at, I think, is going to be a dangerous game for VGK. We do remember, we spoke a little bit about it yesterday. Last time these two teams played, that was the final game that Mark Stone played in. And
and that was mentioned too yesterday by Mondo. It's like, stop hearing that. But I get it. The Florida Panthers, they're currently in the midst of a VGK home cooking schedule right now. This is a 7-game homestand that they're on. Lost the first one to Nashville, won against Pittsburgh. VGK comes in. They get Chicago and Winnipeg on a back-to-back. Whatever, Tony, you can say what you want about that. But even before that, they had a 4-game road trip, 2 home games, Anaheim and Buffalo, 3 calendar days off between Anaheim and Buffalo, a road game against Tampa. Fire up the bus. And then 7 games. So basically they're playing 9 out of 10 games at home with their lone road game against the Tampa Bay Lightning. So just very interesting scheduling there by the NHL. And I get it. It's all got to even out at some point. Right, Tony? It all evens out in the schedule?
No.
Okay.
Jack Eichel is on a heater, as we mentioned, 14 points in 11 games. And I think, to me, okay, so
Barbashev.
I know we're going to talk a little bit coming up and why VGK doesn't get that respect, I guess, from the league, from everyone, from a lot of the fans, as far as being a legitimate contender. But to me, with how many games left? Is it 20? Less than 20?
Plus, I think it's 20 right in the head. I don't know.
Okay,
right
so
ballpark.
So a 5-game road trip, right? I think if they come out of this with 6 or more points, I think that puts them right there at the top and in the driver's seat. I feel that way. And they're starting to get games in hand too, because we saw the Kings won last night. Calgary won last night. I think if VGK gets out of here with 6 points over the next 5 games, I think they'll be okay in the Pacific, in the Honda Pacific.
Couple of things. First of all, right around 93, 94 points has been the projected cut line. Gary Lawless has done a very good job. I forgot what he cites it from, but 93.5 was the cut line. I guess it shifted to 94 points. VGK's at 82 points. 6 points, by my math, that'll put us at 88 points, which is only 6 or so points out of that playoff spot. So, in 5 games, 6 points, that's certainly good. But the qualifier I'm putting on those 6 points, I want them just to win their layup games. I will sacrifice one of the layup games if they get 6 points with one of the wins coming against Tampa
Carolina.
and or Carolina. Yes, exactly.
Tampa's just they're in disarray suddenly. I don't know what's
Fine,
going
but
on
they're
with that
still
team.
they're Tampa until proven otherwise. And
Right.
listen, no one gave them any respect last year coming into the playoffs, and they take out Toronto and they make it as far as the conference final, I believe, against your Rangers, right? So, or no, they made it to they went all the way to the Stanley Cup final last year, correct?
Who?
Tampa.
Yeah, Tampa.
Okay, yeah. So
I thought you said Carolina.
no,
I'm
fair
sorry, I was
enough.
frozen for a minute.
No, me too. My second cup of coffee is already wearing off on me. So the point being is Tampa, they're going to turn on at some point, much like VGK, a veteran roster. But the different side about the Tampa Bay roster is it's a veteran roster that has done this now for the last 4 seasons. They've been contenders going back to the bubble year when unfortunately they got or even before the bubble year when Columbus swept them out. So they're going to be just fine. And even if they're more than happy coming into the first round of the playoffs as the number 3 seed, and they'll still knock Toronto out of the playoffs because Toronto doesn't make it out of the first round. I mean, just call it what it is, Tony.
Okay, so I had a couple of debates yesterday. When will we see Jonathan Quick again on this road trip? When is he going to be between the pipes?
Tonight?
No,
one Cassidy.
They always go with a
Cassidy,
hot hand. You're right. I mean, but they're not going to.
Tonight's not. Aiden Hill is the hot hand.
They're not playing Hill 3 straight games. They do have the back-to-back as they go from Carolina to St. Louis.
Why wouldn't they play Hill's 3 straight games? Is the respect angle for Hill is the respect side your angle, or do you just think that they won't do it?
3 road games in a row would be rather daunting, I think, for Aiden Hill. Everything aside, I just think that would be difficult for him to play 3 consecutive games, grueling time on the road. Personally.
I'm not disagreeing that it would be a very tough swing for him. I'm definitely not gonna fight you one iota on that. And Aiden Hill is nearing, or he surpassed already, his most career starts in a season. I believe we talked about this. This was a concerning factor at the start of the year because we wanted to, back in the day when Logan Thompson was that'll be on Twitter later. When Logan Thompson was our starter before he got injured with this little, not that big of a deal injury, but he's not yet skating. The concern was Aiden Hill's workload. 25 games started for the San Jose Sharks last year was his biggest workload. Also, keep in mind, in those 25 games, he did that with 2 less months in the season, right? He got hurt in January, basically only had 1 more start, February, March, and into this short part of April. So I guess he was on pace for 33, 34 starts last year, if we're going to look at it like that. Currently, 26 starts is his most starts. I mean, dude's got the numbers: 16-6-1, 914 goal save percentage, which ranked him right around 16th or 17th in the league, just a couple ticks behind Logan Thompson, 247 goals against. So the numbers are there. All the metrics are there for Aiden Hill.
Okay, so how do we play the goalies here?
Yeah, I guess I should answer the question at some points.
so Hill gets the start, probably a no-brainer tonight in Florida.
Does it go Hill, Florida, Tampa, Carolina, Quick? And they're back-to-back Saturday, Sunday. Keep that in mind.
And so they lose the hour too, finally. Okay.
So let's go Hill, Florida, Hill, Tampa.
Right. Okay.
Quick, Carolina.
Okay, I would do that.
Hill, St. Louis.
I might flip-flop.
Quick, Philly.
Okay, I would probably go Hill and then Quick against Tampa. And then I would go with Hill coming back for Carolina, Quick, and then maybe Hill. Maybe I'd do it that way.
I think we agree. I think we're aligning that we both see Hill starting the game against the Blues. And Quick. I think the reasoning for that is that's the game. You got the back-to-back. You got to beat the Blues. You got to beat the Blues in that game, especially if things don't go well against Carolina. So, I think you actually go with our 1A goalie, which is Aiden Hill right now against the Blues. And, we'll see where the chips fall. But for me, give Quick the starts against Carolina and Philly.
Coming up next, Chris is asking himself, why no respect for this VGK team? Can the Vegas Golden Knights win the West? We're going to get into that discussion next when we return right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Things are coming down to the wire in the National Basketball Association. My New York Knickerbockers are on fire. They've won 9 straight games. That is newsworthy.
Mhm.
In any event, it is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because all the new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's bonus bets back if your first bet does not win. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Then you could bet on everything from the money line to the point scores to the three-pointers drained. Some of the things that we like, the player props, the player points, rebounds, assists, etc. Plus, FanDuel even lets you combine your bets for a chance at a much larger payout with the same game parlay. So don't miss your chance with the no-sweat first bet. It is up to $1,000 in bonus bets when you go to FanDuel.com/lockedon. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon to learn a lot more and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the National Basketball Association. Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick. We come to you each day from Las Vegas, right here, right now. Your team every day, and we appreciate you making us your first listen each and every day. Thank you so much for doing that. Please make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Locked On Golden Knights. Did you see the photo I posted yesterday with Fleury almost getting into the goalie fight?
That was a nice little scrum. I remember that. That was
a 4-year anniversary. Look at those seats I had.
That was fun. Hey, remember, speaking of photo worthies, you mentioned your Knickerbockers. Remember when Scottie Pippen dunked on Ewing and just pushed him right down? That was awesome.
Every opponent in the world in the NBA just feast on the Knicks. LeBron's like, oh yeah, I like to play in New York, and then he just comes out and smacks them, and MJ and everyone.
LeBron, who's LeBron? LeBron who?
Oh, that's tough. So Chris, why do you believe that VGK can win the Western Conference?
I mean, there's a few things happening right now, and I think we should start with the concerns. Goaltending, even though Aiden Hill is doing well, you can definitely give an asterisk right now. You can give an asterisk because we got no clue what's happening with our goalies right now. Like today, this day, this moment for the next at least 7 to 10 days, we know it's Aiden Hill and Jonathan Quick on probably a 70-30 split. Maybe that gets a little closer if Aiden Hill doesn't get a shutout and Bruce Cassidy gets mad at him for letting in 1 goal or something like that. Who knows? Brossois, who knows what's up there? Day to day, right? Okay, sure. Logan Thompson, coming back sometime in the regular season. Well, not even close to skating yet. So we'll see. Curious how this whole thing's going to shake out, and are there going to be too many cooks in the kitchen? That's the concern. Next concern is, of course, the power play. The special teams is such a razor-thin thing and such an important opportunity because 5-on-5 is going to be so close in the playoffs. That's certainly how it goes every single year. The special teams can be the difference maker. VGK, going back to the DeBoer area, major struggles in big situations in the power play. That's got to get fixed, or a lot of this conversation is null and void. Looking past that, I guess the first thing I'm going to say is let's just compare the season 1 team to the season 6 team. The season 6 team will smoke the season 1 team 7 out of 10 games, 8 out of 10 games. So that's the first thing I look at. You look at the lineup top to bottom. We have our superstar in Eichel. We now have our line in Eichel and Barbashev. Lines 2 and 3 are interchangeable, right? So when the season started, line 3 was the concerning factor. I think now we can agree, Tony, that line 2 is the line where it might be under the microscope, of course, centered by William Karlsson, who's not doing a whole lot. Riley Smith had some nice contributions and finally got a goal in the last game, so maybe things are turning there. Line 3 with Stevenson, and now it's going to be Cotter and Kessel. We'll see how that whole thing shakes out. And line 4 is there as well. So point being is you look around like no one wants to give VGK any respect right now. And part of that's because of the West, I guess. All the eyes are on the East, but all the West has to do, and this is collectively, not just VGK, but it could be Dallas, it could be Colorado, it could be any of the potential teams that are going to represent the West. All they got to do is win 1 series against the East. 1 series against an Eastern Conference team who's going to be beaten and battered and injured because they went through the gauntlets of the Eastern Conference. So the West in general, I think, does need to get a little bit of respect. But in VGK land, still no one, when you look at the comments, I mean, I'm still tilting back to that clown that, ever since they were gifted a team in year 1, just like, shut up, go away. And it's still, this is part of some of the signings and what's happened, starting with our beloved Marc-Andre Fleury being traded for a bag of pucks, and he found out on Twitter, oh my God, I can't believe that actually happened. And then, Max Pacioretty, I get all the concerns there. We can keep on going on and on and on. But point being is this is a good hockey team that is surging at the right moments. They had their midseason lull, which was unfortunate, but they got through it as being a little better than a 500 team with a lot of our Henderson reinforcements. Another conversation we can have about the future of this team. But I like their opportunity. I know we're homers, at least I'm the homer. So you're going to get a little home cooking from me on this podcast, which you should, because I'm also a fan of this team. But just year 1 to year 6, I think this team is better. I think the West was better in season 1 than it is now as well.
Yeah, for sure. And if the playoffs were to start right now, I didn't mention Edmonton won last night. I don't think I mentioned that. They beat Dallas, which was a pretty big game. Wasn't it Edmonton? Edmonton won. I saw the game, whatever. And so
McDavid had a big goal. My people were talking about it last night when I was selling cards. So there's that.
Oh yeah. He got rocked towards the end of the game, too.
That's fine. He's okay.
Really
He's
cheap shot. It was one of those slashes in the back of his legs.
Ooh,
like really hard.
I kind of like that. I kind of like that. I love McDavid, but I kind of like that too.
That stings, right? I don't care.
It does sting, especially when it's not a beer league slash, but a professional slash.
If the players were to start now, VGK first place in the Pacific against wildcard 2, which would be the Winnipeg Jets. If that were to happen right now, the matchups. Okay, we might as well do this, right? Because this would be fun. Dallas against Edmonton. That would be a fun series.
Edmonton is wild card 1 right now. Wow, that's great. Or 2?
Yeah.
1.
No, they're 1.
Yeah.
They're WC1.
It's crazy.
You would have the Wild against the Avalanche, which are starting to surge. That would be fun. And then the Kings and the Kraken. Oh, my goodness.
I want the Kings, Tony. I want the Kings in the first round. I do.
Yeah, that would be fun, right? I mean, either way, that would be a ton of fun there. So that's how things are.
Listen, the West is pretty good. I mean, listen to those teams that you mentioned: VGK, Dallas, Edmonton, Colorado. Any of those 4 teams you can handicap however you want to be the leader coming out of the West right now. I think even though Colorado's lower in the standings, I think Colorado probably. I can pull up the numbers in a little bit here, but Colorado's probably the chalk to come out of the West, which is fair. Probably Dallas and VGK, you're probably within a dime of each other there. But Edmonton, I mean, Edmonton is 4th of that bunch. Like, that should say something right there. And if there's a dark horse in the West, it's the Winnipeg Jets, because Connor Hellebuyck is the VGK, one goal.
VGK
they've done well
twice early. Yeah,
they've done well. No, the first game was Rittich, I believe. The second game was Hellebuyck.
The first game was rigged. Is that what you said?
Rittich.
Oh, okay.
Jesus, stop it. So, Hellebuyck is the goalie and the lone goalie in the West. Okay, maybe besides Jonathan Quick, but the lone goalie in the West that can win a series all by himself.
How about the East? Okay, so you'd have Boston against wild card 2 Pittsburgh. Wow. Bruins should handle that one. But then the next round would be Toronto against Tampa. Okay, that would be fun. Carolina against the Islanders, which are still hanging in there, surprisingly. And then you've got the matchup between the Devils and the Rangers. Oh, my goodness. That's the one I want to see. Of course, I'm a Ranger fan, but that still would be good for the hockey fan in me. That would be
yeah. I mean, so let's see here. Let's look at conferences on the West right now. Wow. So the Avs, who are lower in the standings than the Stars and the Golden Knights, are plus 200. Knights plus 500. Oilers plus 550. Stars plus 550. And oddly enough, the Jets come in at plus. This is just for the West, not the Stanley Cup. Okay. Just for the West. The Jets all the way down at plus 1,500. Lower than the Calgary Flames, who are flirting with a playoff spot. So this is a reminder that these odds are not necessarily what the sportsbooks think are going to happen, but they're simply making these numbers based on their liabilities and the pools. And basically more money is coming on the Flames than the Jets is the only reason that's happening. Overall, Cup futures, I guess. Ooh, Grand Salami, 66.5. We'll have to take a look at that later. Yes. So that means there's going to be probably 8 games tonight. 9 games. 10 games tonight. There's got to be 10 games tonight. 66.5.
No, but how many in the VGK game? Is that going to be a high scoring game? Let's get to our predictions here in a moment. But that's
Yeah, I mean,
awesome.
it could be. It's these games are so weird, Tony. It's such a weird game right now. So really quick, Bruins plus 260. Then the Avs. Okay, so folks, listen. Here's pro hockey futures. Here, follow me for a second. Here, you can wager for the Colorado Avalanche to win the Stanley Cup at plus 500. So basically, if you put in $10, you'll win 50. So your 10 becomes a total of $60. Or okay, the conference is plus 200. My math is wrong, so never mind. Moving on. I thought they were like plus 500 on both. So either way, though, the Avs, who are lower in the standings than two teams right now in the Western Conference, are the chalk to come out, which is fair. Like they're the Stanley Cup champions. I get all that, but it's just interesting the opinions of the public, how that works.
I like the Cale Makar quote yesterday. I feel like I'm the common denominator now. Every time I come back into the lineup, we lose games. So
that's
back.
Pretty funny. That's someone who doesn't listen to the PR team before he gets in front of a microphone. I love it. I think it's great.
For sure. Coming up next, we will have our locks of the night and also our predictions on tonight's game, VGK in South Florida against those Florida Panthers.
That was your radio voice there. That was definitely your radio voice.
Back with more after this on Locked On Golden Knights. We started to take athletic greens on this show because we don't have a lot of time. It optimizes our immune system and all of those reasons. And for the past few months, we've taken it here on this show, and we really do like it. It doesn't taste super healthy. It's kind of mild, has this tropical taste that I actually look forward to taking myself each and every day. And of course, you just put 1 scoop in water every day, 75 high quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens, and it helps you start your day off on the right foot. And I personally consume it really because it does make me sleep a lot better, and it definitely attributes to good gut health. And it's lifestyle friendly. I like that. And the importance of the multivitamin, we talk about this because a lot of people take some type of multivitamin, but it's so important to choose one that has quality ingredients, just like this show is pure quality. And it costs a lot less than your cold brew habit, just less than $3 per day. And go and Google it. You'll see all of these testimonials by professional athletes and trusted by health experts far and wide. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs on your first purchase. All you have to do is go to athleticgreens.com/NHL Network. Again, athleticgreens.com/NHL Network to take ownership over your health and to pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. We come to you each and every day. We appreciate you tuning in. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Locked On Golden Knights. Visit us on Twitter at Locked On VGK, at Tony Dasco, at TD Chris G. And we appreciate everyone tuning into our show each and every day and correcting all of my mistakes. I really do enjoy that. It's great, though, because some of the stuff that we get fans to react to, not fans of the show, fans of VGK, don't get that twisted. But some of the reactions that we get, Chris, are deep, deep, deep into the show. So we have to really be on our P's and Q's, even late in the show when we're starting to wear down, because it's like playing a back-to-back. We play a 5-game back-to-back each and every week. VGK, those 21-goal wins that they have this season, when does the Hoover Dam break?
When do they start losing? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, they're winning, it's full. Could it be fool's gold? Could it be just something, who knows, that it's just a streak of
I'm
luck?
working on a dynamite graphic right now, Tony. I'm about 30% tuned in right now. I just got an amazing idea. I'm going to put an awesome tweet out in a little bit before the show airs. So that way I can get the jump on this, but I got something awesome. So I'm going first for predictions, what I'm trying to tell you right now.
Wow.
I'm going first.
Okay.
All right. We have a new colossal connection here in Las Vegas. Barbashev and Jack Eichel. And of course, if you remember, I took yours.
Stink.
I took
knew
yours.
I was going to do that.
Well, but I got something cool. This is going to be worth it. Don't worry, folks. This is going to be worth it.
I'm with you. Let's
roll.
roll.
We got the colossal connection of Jack Eichel and Barbashev, managed by Kelly McCrimmon. So Bobby the Brain Heenan, Kelly the Brain McCrimmon. So here we go. So by the time this airs, folks, I got an awesome picture. It's going to get at least 1,400 views on, at least 1,450 views on Twitter. I know I'm not Tony Cordasco status, who can say hi and get 10,000 views, but 1,400 views for me is pretty good, folks.
Okay. So is that
4-2 Golden Knights, 4-2 Golden Knights.
And you're going with
Eichel and Barbashev, the colossal connection.
Oh, man. I'm going to go with Dorofeyev.
If he plays, have a backup just in case.
Marchessault.
Who's your fallback if there's no Dorofeyev?
Colasar.
Cotter. It's got to be Cotter because that's who we'll replace, right? Colasar just in case. Colasar's been quiet on his score sheets.
How has he been playing though?
Fine. He's logging hits, right? 7 hits the other night, 6 hits. I mean, he's doing what a bottom line forward needs to do. Get in there, muck it up, be tough to play against. And he's also a little chirpy lately. So, if things aren't going well, Colasar, he's going to do his job and take care of it. And there you go.
Okay. Points prediction for this trip. I'll go first. I'll say 6 right on the button.
I'll go 7. So we have a decision.
Okay.
Your picks were, you said, I'm sorry, Dorofeyev,
and
Colasar, and Marchi was the other one. Who was the third one? Just in case.
Yeah, Marchessault.
Okay,
Marchessault madness. I have to go with that every.
Do we have a score for tonight's?
Yeah, I'm going to go 4-2 in the other direction.
Wow, 4-2 Florida.
And ever since the acquisition of Quick, 2 games over the total. Okay.
So you're blaming him now for the game he was on the bench. Got it. Okay.
Yes, cool. Absolutely.
So he hasn't worked hard enough in practice.
No. He said he's going to mentor the younger players into giving up goals. Isn't that what he said? Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah. He said I'm going to mentor the players in giving up goals. I heard that too.
Okay, when Quick plays, please bet the over. And then also,
you sound like all the Kings fans. So you sound like the salty Kings fans.
Oh, Tony. How fun is that? Let's get into that for a quick moment. How much fun is that? He's taking a lot of the pressure off of Jack Eichel with the Buffalo fans right now.
I hate to put it like this, but when there's a funeral, families go through a lot of different emotions, right? There's the emotion, and then sometimes there's grief, sometimes there's anger, whatever that may be. We've all been through this before. It sucks, but it's a part of life, unfortunately. And that's what's happening with Jonathan Quick right now. All the Quick stories. Oh, we loved him. He was so amazing. The one of the commentators is crying, during intermission, talking about his exchange with them and the plane when he was traded and everything. And then now, Vegas, haha, he's gonna suck for you. Yep, he's gonna be terrible. And just shut up and stop it.
For sure. I think it comes down tonight to that second line. How is this second line going to hold down Tkachuk?
I'm with you just in general, Tony, that the second line is going to be monitored right now. And I know here's an argument here, but William Karlsson and Riley Smith can play good defense. So they can be a shutdown line as well as a line that can score. Let's be clear, they can score goals. So hopefully their offensive side will come back, but at least they will never be a defensive liability. I think that's something we can hopefully agree on.
Okay. Tomorrow we will have a recap of this game, VGK against Florida and the Panthers in South Florida. And of course, we'll give you the latest news. We'll find out what's up on the injury front too later on.
No, he won't. No, he won't. Well, you mean with Paul Cotter or something? Okay, I gotcha.
Cotter's out. He took a wallop the other night. And
day to day.
I bet you he's day to day. That would be my guess too.
Everyone's day to day.
I'm day to day. For my man, Chris Golick.
My whole house is day to day right now.
Oh boy, everyone's sick, huh?
Daughter asthma now just got diagnosed. I think it sucks.
Oh, that's
I've grown up with it. It's terrible, but it's all good. She's tough. She'll get through it.
All right, for my man Chris Golick, we appreciate everyone tuning in. Hope the family feels better.
Oh yeah,
I'm Tony Cordasco. We come to you each and every day from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen, and we'll see you tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Take